Hi, I'm Rudy Zissou of the Science Fantasy Experience, and welcome to A Week in Toys. Today is Sunday the 18th of April, and in the UK, lockdown restrictions are starting to be lifted. So, with that in mind, I decided to go to my local toy shop. Some of the Toys is in Portsmouth in the town centre. I live in Southsea, so it's literally about a 20-minute walk. But as soon as you go in, you are hit with a pyramid of pops, all Star Wars. And it leads you in to the Black Series. Super cool to see Cad Bane, and you've got the latest wave of Black Series. Some Lord of the Rings, that crow was really cool. And those alien figures, they looked epic as well. Mix of stuff there, Transformers. Incredible to see Wild Stallions 2-pack. I have that pack and I can't recommend it more. And then load of NECA stuff, Turtles, Back to the Future, into the DC Multiverse. Again, that Joker looked really cool in hand. And then an eclectic mix of Marvel Legends and some Masters of the Universe. That's about 2/3 of the store. There was a bit more in there that I just didn't have time to photograph, and I was just getting massively overexcited about being out, able to go to a toy store and just be surrounded by toys in that, that live environment. So I only grabbed a handful of photos, but they had some G.I. Joe classified in there, some Studio 86. They had a whole wall of Hot Toys, which I always kind of quickly go past because it's just way out of my price range and I don't want to get tempted by anything Hot Toys. I know I cannot afford it. Not from wanting pieces, for sure. I'd love to get one at some point. But yeah, they'd got a few other bits and pieces, Overwatch, other bits of McFarlane figures, Fortnite. So yeah, there was a whole gabble of other toys in there. It was really exciting to see some toys in hand, because photos online of either reveals or just websites sometimes don't do toys justice at all. Seeing Firestar in hand has just solidified me wanting to get that figure to go with my Spider-Man and my Doctor Doom. I want to build up that amazing Spider-Man and his amazing friends kind of shelf at some point. Yeah, so to physically see these toys, it's made me kind of realise which ones I want to get. Like that Skeletor looked really good. Snake Eyes looked awesome. So yeah, that Crow figure, I had no idea how good that was going to look. And also seeing some of the packaging, because sometimes you just, from a reveal, you don't always get to see the packaging. You just get to see the figure or the toy or the robot. You don't actually see the packaging. So yeah, just to be surrounded by it, it was awesome. But you can't go to a toy store after however many months of lockdowns without coming away with something. So I picked up the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NECA 2-pack from the movie, Wrath in Disguise and Casey Jones. Ecstatic to see it on the shelves, because their website had it as sold out, so their online stock was all exhausted, but they had a few of these on the shelf. And at the start of the year in January, I always write a wish list, and this was quite high up on there. I don't have any representation of the Turtles movie, and Casey Jones is my all-time absolute forever favourite character across the toy, the comic, the cartoon and the movie. Yes, I love Donatello. The same goes, like any iteration of Turtles, I absolutely adore Donatello. But I've got a little piece of my heart for Raph. Especially, this is my favourite scene of the whole movie, when he meets him in his disguise, when he's, you know, he looks like a private investigator, a Humphrey Bogart looking jacket and hat combo, hiding that he's, you know, a mutated 4'9" turtle. Incredible. It looks like such a good set. So poseable, full of accessories. There's like 3 sets of hands. He's got his full complement of weapons, 2 hockey sticks, a cricket bat, a golf club. You know, his Jose Canseco bat. Raph comes with his 2 sides, a slice of pizza. It's, you know, extra bandanas and cloth goods. A few years back I got the NECA Bill and Ted Wild Stallions 2-pack, and that was a game changer for me because I was never interested in cloth goods on figures. I always kind of like moulded designs, but now much more appreciate a cloth good. Super excited to get these out of the package and do a video on those at some point. Being back in toy stores, incredible. I cannot wait for my next day off to check out some other stores in my local area, Vintage Toy Monster. Just to go back to Son and Toys, because I didn't spend enough time in there. Monday the 19th, and we have got some toy news and reveals. So we have got a couple of images of some repaints for new age legend scaled figures. So first up we have got 2 repaints of their Cyclops figure, which is their version of Shockwave. So we have got Galactic Man, their little homage to what was previously an incarnation of Shockwave before he became integrated into Transformers, and we have got an oh so shiny translucent version. God, these look incredible. Both of them do. I don't have a Shockwave in my collection. I'd love to pick up a G1. I know the KO is pretty decent, and if I ever saw one at a good price, I'd probably just go for that. After previous experience with the KO Dinobot, I'm up for picking up some KO G01 bits and pieces, but the Galactic Man is the one that interests me the most. I passed on the Siege version of that because I just thought it was overpriced. Yeah, you got a lot of accessory pieces, but I don't even think I would use them, and I'm getting very interested in that sort of scale for Transformers now, so possible pickup later on in the year. We've got Shazam, their Shattered Glass Thundercracker. Far too garish for me, but oh my god, look at those hands. Those hands are incredible, just open, wide, just really varied and different to what you get for other figures. But yeah, not one for me, but people love Shattered Glass, and I can see many a devoted Shattered Glass fan wanting to pick up that garish monstrosity for sure. Kind of cool though, right? And finally, for New Age, we have a repaint Toy Accurate Marvel G1 Lucifer, their version of Starscream. This looks absolute fire. Perfect coloration, and just looking at him, it just evokes just pure nostalgia for that sort of era. If I didn't have a masterpiece, a Starscream, I think this would be the Starscream that I would want to get for my collection for sure. Do you know, all of these New Age toys look incredible. And as I said previously, I'm looking into getting some figures of this sort of scale within Transformers. The one that I'm most excited about is Garbage Man by, is it McFans Toys? Cannot wait to get that. I've wanted to get a Wreck-Gar for a long time. I had the G1 toy. I thought the Reveal the Shield Transformers United was a good idea, that they could both, you know, work together so they could, you know, ride each other. Incredible, but I just didn't pick one up. KFC Toys, incredible, and their version of, you know, Junk Heap and Dump Yard, but sadly out of my price range, and I kind of missed the boat on those. So I think Garbage Man is the way forward for me when it comes to Wreck-Gar. So yeah, they're the reveals for New Age, but saw a very interesting oddity whilst looking at toy news today, and we have this Shogun Skeletor. This was a crossover I never expected to happen at all, but it's incredibly intriguing and looks huge. But then again, if you're thinking about mid-80s Japanese supersized robots, it's going to be huge. I have no idea what the scale of this is. No idea. It's going to be big. But yeah, the idea of taking Skeletor and making him into a robot, a lot of fun. You know, there's a whole slew of Skeletor figures to get. Mattel, Super 7, big ones, small ones, pops, vintage inspired, as seen on screen, comic book, and now a giant, super-sized Japanese robot mecha. I think it's really, really cool. Doubtful I'm going to get one. I just can't have a toy that big, but it certainly sparked my interest and just a fun oddity for someone to have on their shelves. Whether it be you're a huge fan of Masters of the Universe, or just cool for Skeletor, or just into robots. Incredibly interesting, visually stunning toy. Sometimes reveals just come and they blow you away. Tuesday the 20th, and what would a week in toys be without some Black Series content? So we have had a couple of images, reveals of a Clone Wars wave. You have got Obi-Wan, Anakin Skywalker, ARC Trooper, and the clone pilot, Echo and Hawk. Obi-Wan looks unbelievable. That face sculpt is something else, and the detail. I love the look of Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars with kind of that mixture of armor and Jedi robes. But yeah, it's all about his face. They've finally captured, after all these years, a faithful look of Ewan McGregor in a cartoon form. Incredible. I'm actually quite tempted to get that as my Obi-Wan. It is on my mind to get the Toy Accurate, the brown one, but I'm wondering if that's too plain. Now that I've seen the reveal of this, yeah. Anakin's face sculpt though looks kind of off. Something just doesn't sit right. But the ARC Trooper, yeah, that styling on that looks absolutely spot on. And the fact that you've got a removable helmet as well. These look incredible. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the Clone Wars series, and I'm glad that it came back for a final series for sure. And now getting that ability to have some of that characters in a 6-inch scale, it's just an exciting time to be, you know what, I was going to say a Star Wars fan. It's an exciting time for someone that has a love-hate relationship with Star Wars to get some really cool, innovative looking characters across the whole spectrum of all of the films, the comics, the Timothy Zahn novels, the animations. It's, yeah, super exciting. Hold on a moment, I didn't even talk about the packaging. Different, you know, Black Series came in a black and red box. Then for Rebels, they went all super colourful, kind of tying in with the colour of the character. You know, Zeb was more of a purple box, Chopper was an orange box. And then now they have done the helmet of the clone trooper as the box in that intricate shape, curved, straight lines. Absolutely love it. I can't believe I didn't mention it. But yeah, it's just, I often say, part of the whole toy experience, buying, displaying, playing, opening, it's the box. And sometimes when the box art or the box shape, the box style is great, it just really adds to that experience. So today is Wednesday the 21st of April. It's my day off from work, but sadly I didn't get to go to any of the toy stores, so there's no new toy pickups this week, and no pre-orders have come in either. I've got 3 or 4 things on pre-order through various websites, but when you look at their pages for those items, all of them bar one say April/May. One says December. God knows when that is coming, and you can probably guess what that is because a few of us are in the same boat. That is Generation Select's Sandstorm. Whenever that comes, that comes. But yeah, the rest are April/May, so they could come in 2 to 3 days, they could come in 2 to 3 weeks. So with that in mind, I thought I'd grab something off the shelf and do a little show and tell. And I say that as it has been my day off, and I've found the time to actually play with it and fiddle about with it, which I've had it a couple of weeks, but I've just not been able to. I've tinkered with it here and there, but it's literally just been sat on display, and I've kind of just been etching for my own little bit of free time to really engage with it. So I am going to grab Buggy Robo and we can have a look. So Buggy Robo, or Buggy Man from Tales of the GoBots, for you 1980s robot fans out there. But yeah, this is Machine Robo's Revenge of Kronos Buggy Robo. Absolutely adore this figure now. I spent about an hour and a half this evening playing with it. It looks phenomenal on display anyway, but having it in hand, so much fun. Incredible engineering, loads of posability, clicky, ratchety joints, and any action figure robot that comes with a ghetto blaster that can turn into a gun, incredible. The colour is perfect to the original toy it's inspired from, and it's just been an absolute joy to mess around with. So yeah, you pop the gun off bring out the sides, and you can extend it into either, you know, a gun straight out, or, you know, it kind of works as a bazooka. It's fun, pure fun. And as a kid, I desperately wanted a buggy man. He was one of my favourite renegades of the whole show. I liked him because he was a dune buggy. I loved kind of those types of vehicles as a kid. ATVs, dune buggies, Dakar rally kind of stuff, Baja bugs, and, you know, trying not to compare Transformers to GoBots, but, you know, it always happens. He seemed a lot more fun than Beachcomber. Beachcomber's great, don't get me wrong. Very different characters, but very similar moulds. Incredible amounts of fun to be had with this whole line of toys. A quick look at the box. Kind of very Japanese inspired if you look at original boxes for the Machine Robo line. So similar. They were all done in white, but each kind of box for each toy is done in the same sort of colours for the toy. Steam Robo all black, Buggy Robo all blue, Eagle Robo all grey, and you get to see his buggy, and the Ghetto Blaster fits on the back. Loads of fun, and it has now replaced Steam Robo as my therapy bot, a phrase coined by Bumblejumper82 around Christmas time. Therapy bots are just ones that you can pick off the shelf and have a play around with and relax you after months and months of lockdown. So yeah, this is a little show and tell on Buggy Robo. We are now at Friday the 23rd of April, and no pre-orders have come in and no new toy pickups. So this is going to be my final entry in a week of toys. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at the Argos catalogue from 1987, Autumn and Winter edition, and we're going to look at two pages, page 305 and page 511. So first up, 305. And what do we have? So we have Mask and we have Supernaturals. Looking back through toy catalogues like Argos and Index, well, they're not toy catalogues, they're just catalogues, like Freeman's, K's, Grattan. The Autumn and Winter period of catalogues just seem to be so much more full of toys, obviously with the build-up to Christmas. And these pages are just lovely to look at. So do bear in mind that this is 1987 and Mask came out in 85. 2 years later, and they are still commanding half a page of toys with 3 vehicles, a backpack, a lunchbox, and a clock. Who wouldn't want a Xeon clock in their bedroom? Well, maybe not me, because I once had an alarm clock and it just did this insane ticking. So hopefully it would have been one of those smooth clocks that does not make a sound for me. But yeah, it's got the original OG Mask logo, but it is the vehicles. All I want to do is talk about the one in the middle, which is Hurricane. I got it a few years ago when I went to the toy fair in Birmingham with Xortrider and Dave Mentz and Emily, and it had been a long time coming. I always wanted that one as a kid. Loved the Chevy 57, loved the Flames, but I never got it. I always ended up choosing something else. It's the same bloody story I tell on my videos, is that, you know, it was the plan to go to Woolworths or Jolly Giant or Beatties, and I'd get there and I'd be like, yes, I want to get this. And then I'd see something else and get that. And I never got Hurricane. Incredible. The backpack's really cool. The lunchbox, the colour matching of the handle and the lid to the logo. And it's just got that graphic scene on the lunchbox, so just in kind of like a comic panel. Awesome, pure awesome. Let's not talk about the prices, because it's not depressing, it's just like, that's how much stuff was. Supernaturals didn't have them. I never even saw them, to be honest. I don't really have any memory of them. It's only becoming a toy collector later on in life and finding out that these toys existed. Obviously heard of Tonka, that's who released GoBots and big giant JCBs and excavators and diggers. They are super cool. I've seen them at a couple of toy fairs. I was going to say in the last few years. Maybe not last year, but previous to that, and I've wanted to get them, but they've not always been in the best condition, or they've been what I think is slightly overpriced. But what a lost art holograms are. The fact that, you know, the pieces, the armor plating comes off and it reveals that hologram. You know, it wasn't just Visionaries that had holograms, it was Supernatural. 4 points of articulation. They look about 3 3/4 inch scale, maybe a little bit more, but yeah. I also think the weapons glow in the dark. They kind of have that look to them. But yeah, what a page to reflect back on. Moving on to page 511. So here we have Action Force and Thundercats. What a surprise. Thundercats again in 1985, and yet 2 years later, holding on to pages in a catalogue. The scale of Thundercats figures and the variation, looking at, you know, Tigra, a bit more slender, svelte, to Slithe, Squat, totally different body shape. You've got the Berserkers there, which had more gimmicks. And then you've got Groon and Snowman. Below it though is Mum-Ra's Crypt. So this is when they did a much smaller scale. I actually, again, this is a toy that I really wanted because it was a playset. What held me back though was there is zero articulation for the action figures. And I don't think that it would have been that playable with figures that don't kind of move. It's too static with that type of figure, but it looks beautiful. I think it's got lovely styling. It looks like it jumped off the screen. It's molded detail. Door opens. You've got, you know, the spirits of evil either side. If they'd only made those smaller figures articulated, it would be incredible. So up above, one of my personal favourites, we've got Action Force, or G.I. Joe. I'm thinking by 1987 though, they weren't using that Action Force logo. That's the OG early 80s Action Force, when it was less articulation. It wasn't O-ring, it was previous to that. I think I will talk about prices now, because looking there that you get 4 figures for £7.95. You know, you've got Dusty, Ripper, Alpine and Quick Kick. That's V1. Ripper, where it comes with absolute ton of accessories. Same with Alpine. Alpine comes with a ton of stuff. But that's like £2 a figure. Ridiculous price. But yeah, absolutely incredible. Do you know what? When you probably went to Argos to go and get that 4-pack, you were not getting those 4 figures. You were going to get whichever came down the conveyor belt. So maybe you would get Quick Kick, maybe you would get Dusty, or you'd end up with Snake Eyes or Duke or Lifeline. You could have got absolutely anything. But I guess that's the fun when you're a kid. You type in the digited number and it tells you that it's in stock. Order goes through. You race over to watch it come down the conveyor belt rolling slide. That's what it was like where I grew up, obviously. Yeah, and out they come. The joy about those Action Force figures is those miniature play sets that you can get. Just an extra play value. Clicking them all together, having a little tower, having a bunker, an armoured artillery. Incredible. It absolutely fills me with nostalgia when I look back at the Argos catalogue. Just page after page. A couple of previous pages were, you know, GoBots and Transformers sharing the same page. You went on to the next page and it was Cindy and Gem and the Holograms. Absolutely incredible. What a nostalgia fest. This has been a week in toys. I've been Rudy Zissou, and always remember, it's as much about play as it is display. Thanks for watching.